Hello everyone, I'm Irene Mays Pilar. Welcome to Anatomy and Physiology class. This day we are going to discuss about the cardiovascular system. For the objectives, first, determine what is cardiovascular system. Second, determine the parts, functions, and with the directional terms as well as the process involved in cardiovascular system. Third, determine the two primary common disorders in cardiovascular system. Let's stretch your brain. Did you know what is the major structure of cardiovascular system? Well, this is the heart, the blood, and the blood vessels. So what is the system that circulates the blood around your body? Yes, the circulatory system is also known as the cardiovascular system. First major structure, the heart, that has an incredible number of arteries, veins, and capillaries that carry blood every extremities of your body. Let us focus first with the heart. It is just like a size of your fist in which the heart sits in the medial cavity of the thorax, known as the mediastinum, serves simply as a palm. Let's stretch your brain. How many times your heart beats in just one day? It is 1,000 times a day that it pumps around 7,000 liters of blood in a day throughout your body. Trivia. Did you know that the average male heart weighs around 280 to 340 grams or 10 to 12 ounces, while the female it weighs around 230 to 280 grams or 8 to 10 ounces. Then the infant heart is about the 30th of the total body weight. Well, what is the two circuits of the heart that can participate? Yes, this is the pulmonary and the systemic pathway. When the blood enters the right side of the heart and sends it to the lungs, where it becomes oxygenated. When oxygen we breathe in from the air around us diffuses through the lungs and enters the bloodstream to find hemoglobin. Then it returns to the left side of the heart to complete the pulmonary circuit. Then the deoxygenated blood leaves the left side of the heart and sent throughout the body to deliver the oxygen and nutrients to all the various tissues that need oxygen to perform the cellular respiration. The oxygen will eventually make it back to the right side of the heart, that completing the systemic circuit. What is the two circuit? Yes, this is the pulmonary circuit and systemic circuit, with the two receiving chambers of the heart where this cycle finish. Let's stretch your brain. And what is these two receiving chambers? The right and left atrium. The right atrium and left atrium, along with this, are the two main pumping chambers, which is the right ventricle and left ventricles. The heart is covered by something called pericardium, which is made by a dense connective tissue that protects the heart and maintains its position. The two walls of pericardium are the fibrous pericardium and the serous pericardium, the lateral of which has also a two-layer, the parietal layer and the visceral layer, also known as the epicardium. The epicardium is considered as the outermost layer of the heart wall. The other of these are the endocardium and myocardium. Myocardium makes up most of the heart and it is made largely of cardiac muscles. The rest of these are made of connective fibers that form a dense network called the cardiac skeleton, providing a structural support in insulating elliptical activity. The endocardium is a white sheet of endothelium that sits on some more connective tissue, and this line the heart chamber. Speaking of chambers, how many chambers we have in our heart? We have the four chambers, which is the two atria and the two ventricles. The atria are separated by the enteroatrial septum, and the ventricles are separated by the interventricular septum. The atria are the receiving chambers where the blood arrives when it pushed down into the ventricles. Oxygen-poor blood enters the right atrium through the three different veins. The superior vena cava delivers blood from the upper quarters of the body. The inferior vena cava delivers blood from the lower part of your body. Then the coronary sinus collects blood draining from myocardium. For the left atrium, there are four entryways, and these are the pulmonary veins, which deliver blood from the lungs back to the heart. The ventricles make up much more of the volume of the heart, and these are the actual pumps. When the ventricles contract, that's what propels the blood out of the heart and into circulation. The right ventricles sends blood into the pulmonary trunk, which goes to the lungs, and the left ventricles sends blood to the aorta, which is the artery, the largest one in the body. The another important features of the heart valves that is leaving from the flowing back into the ventricles. The heart valves ensures the unidirectional flows of the blood. It means they keep the blood going in a correct direction. These are the two atrioventricular valves or AV valves which connect each atrium to corresponding ventricles. From the right is the tricuspid valve, meaning it has the three little flops, whereas the left one is the mitral or bicuspid, meaning two flops. When the blood is relaxed, the blood flows through, but if the ventricles contract, the valve will close due to the change of pressure. There are two other valves called the semilunar valves, and these are the aortic valves and the pulmonary valve. These are connected to the ventricles and the arteries that stands from the non-preventing blood that is leaving from the flowing back into the ventricles. The conductive pathway within the heart has a force station that would send electrical impulses in order for the heart to keep beating. The sinoatrial node or SA node is also known as the cardiac pacemaker cells. Is a flat elliptical collection of the specialized nodal tissues with the dimensions of up to 25 mm in length. The node is nestled in the superior posterolateral wall of the right atrium near to the opening of the superior vena cava, which is indicated by the sulcus terminalis. The bundle of His, or the hemi-oval shaped node, occupies the subendocardiac layer within the Koch triangle. It passes through the fibrous cardiac skeleton to form the initial part of the atrioventricular or AV bundle of His. The AV bundle is supplied by the anterior and inferior interventricular end bundle of the coronary arteries. Purkinje fibers, which spread the electrical charges through the myocardium, which is the cardiac muscle and causes the heart to contract. The AV node or atrioventricular node is often called the secondary pacemaker of the heart, and its function as the conduit of electrical activity from the SA node to the ventricles of the heart. It is located in posterior inferior part of the interatrial septum. This time, let's talk about the blood. Blood is a fluid or liquid, also known as the plasma. Plasma is composed of 90% of water. This time, let's talk about the blood. Did you know what is the three main substances of the blood? Well, this is the erythrocytes, or also known as the red blood cells, that transports oxygen and carbon dioxide. Second, the leukocytes, which is also known as the white blood cells, which is responsible for immune defense for the mechanisms. Third, the thrombocytes are also known as the platelets. It is responsible for the blood clotting.